It's the Upstate Golf Show hosted by Kip Kirby. Saturday mornings 8 to 9. And on the phone we have Brian Bigley, who's going to be our upcoming PGA star. And right now is currently in Charlotte and getting ready for the next web.com tour event. And which event is that, Brian?
Hey, Kip, how you doing? We're headed to Sao Paulo, Brazil, Sunday. And then the week after that, we're in Cartagena, Colombia. So a couple more events down in South America and back stateside. And
just give everybody a little background on Brian. He's a Chalmont grad, worked at Pine Haven with his dad. His dad is still the superintendent over there with you and your brother, and played college golf at Siena College, him and Robbie, and were very successful there. And Brian, how did you move so fast? I mean, it seems to me just yesterday you're playing in local events, pro-am events around here. How did this happen so fast?
You know, I don't know. I guess I kind of always had my eye, after graduation, if I felt I was good enough to kind of turn pro and move south. And I mean, you say fast, but I'm a 31-year-old rookie on the web.com tour, and I've learned a lot in these last 9 years as a pro, and I just coming out of high school and college and living in New York, it was always tough to play golf, but I don't think I'm a 12-month a guy golfer anyways. I think I need a break and to step away from golf, and the older I get, the smarter I get about golf, I think.
And obviously your confidence level must have just jumped. You were on the Latin American tour last year, which got you to the web.com tour this year, and you've made the last two cuts. So, again, your confidence level's got to be pretty strong right now.
Yeah, the Latin America tour is good competition. They run it very similar to the tour events. So, I got out there and I had some success down there, and I learned about traveling and booking all your hotels and flights and, being on the road weeks on end. And, it's definitely helped me this year. And, one of the Bryan brothers, a trick shot artist, just won in Louisiana. He's a rookie. That's only his third event. So, I think that, too, also gives me confidence. I haven't had good weekends in the two cuts I made, but, at some point in these tournaments, I've been in the top 10 late on Friday afternoon. So it's just a matter of keeping my foot on the pedal and moving forward instead of, making bogeys and moving backwards.
It's the Upstate Golf Show, and I'm Kip Kirby, and we have on the line Brian Bigley, who's from the Capital Region and is on the web.com tour now. And Brian, I am pretty sure you are the furthest one to go at this point in time, a golfer from the area to reach this level. Am I correct on that?
To my knowledge, yeah. I know there's a few guys who, maybe played the mini tours or maybe Monday qualified into the old Westchester Open or but, I mean, to my knowledge, yeah, I think, to have full status on the web.com tour is, individually is pretty big. And, I think it's pretty big for the area. Really the state of New York. There's not many guys out there from New York who are playing professional golf.
And the obvious question, and I know a lot of people probably ask you this, again, expenses financially. How do you do it if you're not making those huge checks right now? You got caddies and hotels and all that. How do you maintain and get by?
It's been something I've been able to compartmentalize, and I'm always 3 or 4 missed cuts away from practically retiring and being completely broke. But money bothers some people. I've been able to play well with my back against the wall like that. Getting a little help from club companies now this year, but it still doesn't totally cover costs. It's just a matter of going out and playing good golf and not thinking about the money, not thinking about, well, hey, it's late Sunday, and if I make a double bogey, it could cost me thousands and thousands of dollars. Well, I made it to the weekend. Let's go out and try and have a good weekend and make some money and have fun doing it. You can't, if you start thinking about the money and per shot breakdown, it'll drive you crazy.
It's amazing, and you say that, back in the old days with the PGA Tour, and obviously I got a few years on you, guys making cuts, that was a huge deal. I mean, that was their meal ticket. That was their hotel stay for the next week. You get to the PGA Tour, and as Boo Weekley said a few years ago, when he got his card, he goes, that was my $1 million ticket. But you're kind of in that old boat with the PGA Tour guys, and I think it's fascinating. And again, you got a lot of folks rooting for you here, and hope you succeed.
Yeah, and I really appreciate that I've gotten some help along the way, and everyone from the Capital District's been very supportive of me, and it's been great. Especially guys, your Bob Weiners and Pete Doherty's and Mike Dyers. I've gotten a lot of press and been very lucky with that. Capillary Golf, and it's been a fun journey and fun ride with highs and lows, and I'm hopefully looking to move on up. And Boo's right. You make it to the PGA Tour. I think last place last week made $14,000, which I think you had to finish P8 on the web.com tour to make.
Wow.
So it's definitely it's a different level, and if you get there and stay there for 5 years, it's your career's going to be made. So that's the goal.
It's the Upstate Golf Show, and it's Kip Kirby. And again, I have Brian Bigley on the line here, and former Siena grad, and a guy that I actually played in some tournaments against at Stadium. You and your brother did some stupid things there, shooting 20 under, or so. I can't remember that one tournament, a 2-man Stadium, and I think it was the fall, or not the fall, the Spring Classic one year. You guys tore it up. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do. I think it was the year I was just graduate, or was about to graduate Siena, and that whole summer, my brother and I played pretty well together.
Yeah, you did.
I think we won most of the 2-man events around and set some records. And it's always been fun playing golf with him. It's stress free. It's we don't get in arguments about the golf. It's brotherly stuff out there. So it's we might go 10 holes without talking, and it gets a little tense in the group. But at the same time, we're probably going to be 7 under those 10 holes. So it was a lot of fun playing high school and college golf with him, and then those few amateur tournaments. So
absolutely, and it was fun watching you guys, and again some great golf along the way too. Just a couple little local things. Are you with the U.S. Open qualifier? You can always plan to come back here to try to do that.
Yeah, actually, I booked my flight to come up May 9th. I believe it's at Mohawk Club. And I like to get up there, see family, and it's as of right now, it's fitting into my schedule. Unless I happen to Monday qualify for the Quail Hollow Championship at here in Charlotte, I'll be planning on coming up and playing Mohawk, and it's just easier. I know the courses, and it's easier golf. You shoot even par, you're going to get through, and a lot of times, down here in the South, you got to shoot 67, 68 to get through. So, it's worth it to come back home. The goal is to get to the sectional round, and at sectionals, you just never know. You have a good day, you're going to the Open. So.
And again, we always will get a couple guys from the web.com, or maybe even some PGA Tour guys come up for the local qualifier here. But again, you got a pretty good shot of getting to the regional, which is obviously your goal to get to the U.S. Open.
Yeah, it's a couple of years ago at sectionals, I got myself in a good position on that back 18. Didn't finish it off, but it's exciting to get there and think about what you could do. And a bunch of my buddies have qualified for the Open, so it's something where I think if I keep working at it, I can get there and actually do pretty well at the tournament. Kind of favors someone who hits a lot of fairways, a lot of greens, which is typically my game. So.
And Brian, and I mean to kind of retrack here a little bit, but again, with the web.com tour, what is your status? Is it how many tournaments are you guaranteed right now to play in the rest of this year?
I'm considered fully exempt, which gives me at least the first 9 events, which is through 2 reshuffles. So that takes me through the Greenville event, which is end of May. But because I've made cuts and made money in my reshuffle status, I will, I'm going to jump and stay ahead of people who haven't made any cuts and haven't made money. So in past years, having made a cut or 2 would guarantee me the rest of the event. I'm hoping that's still the case this year, but there's a lot of guys with tour cards, and we'll just have to see how it shakes out. But I don't have the pressure that someone else does who hasn't made a cut yet, and their number of starts is winding down. So, but I'm guaranteed at least another 6 starts, and hopefully the rest of the season.
And besides yourself, who's the next star going to come out of the web.com tour, do you think, this year?
Oh, geez. Honestly, I hadn't really even looked at it. I've been trying to get so acclimated. There's actually a ton of ex-PGA guys playing, and Jonathan Bird's been there every week, Tommy Gainey. Vaughn Taylor was in Panama and Bogota, and had a miscut and withdraw. Then he gets into Pebble and wins.
Yeah.
So I think maybe keep an eye on a guy like a Denny McCarthy. He's 22 or 23, I think. You know, he's a very good player, nice kid. I think you'll see him moving on at some point. But, you know, there's every guy who tees it up on the web is capable of moving on up to the PGA Tour. That's how fine the line is these days. You know, if we played any other sport, NFL or baseball or basketball, we'd be in the NBA or NFL just based on numbers. But just so happens there's only 125 guys who can play on the PGA Tour or who keep their cards. So, you know, unfortunately, it's just something we have to deal with.
Again, it's the Upstate Golf Show. This is my very first guest on the show, Brian Bigley. Again, a Siena grad, a local guy, is playing on the web.com tour. And this is a little shameless plug I got to put in, though. But Brian, I run a Pro-Am. It's for the ALS Center at St. Peter's Hospital, the Lewis Golub Center. And I've been doing it now for 19 years. And would love to have you play in it. Mohawk Country Club. Yep, I got the ALS Pro-Am. And a lot, local pros. I had Jeb Buchanan last year play, and we're going to have Dottie Pepper hopefully next year. She's going to try to see what her schedule looks like. But yeah, it's $150. So I mean, that's got to get you there to play the whole day.
Yeah, it's if it fits into my schedule, I'd love to be a part of it.
That would be great.
I know it's a good cause, and me being there gets 2 more people signed up, man. I'd love to be a part of it.
Absolutely. Hey, Brian, it's been a pleasure. We wish you all the best, and hopefully we'll get a lot more people following you after listening to this golf show today.
Thanks, Kip. I appreciate it.
Brian, thanks for calling in, and we'll be talking soon.
Sounds good.
All right, buddy. More of the Upstate Golf Show with Kip Kirby coming up next.